Hi, Moggy here. A couple of people have asked questions about sealing the edges of cells, sealing the edges of the plates. This is how I do it, not necessarily the best way, but I thought I'd show you how I do it anyway. This is epoxy. So what you need is your cell pack all ready to glue together, and check that it's square, and just if you make sure it's square, it'll go together a lot easier. And then I have here some pieces of acrylic, and these are the same length that I want for the cell. It's about, the plastic is about 1/16 of an inch longer than the plates that are going into the cell. This you could use for the side plates of the cell. So this is about 1/8 of an inch aside, wider than the cell, so that you get this lip here. So that's about that size. And what I do is I use that as a guide to put the masking tape on. And on here there are 3 layers of masking tape, and I don't know whether you can see it, but that gives you a gap of about 50 thou, and that's going to be the outside edge that protects the edges of the plates. So, hi, Moggy here. The camera switched off, ran out of battery. This now has its first coat of epoxy, so that'll be about 50 thousandths of an inch thick. And what I did is put the epoxy on and then scraped it off using the tape to give me the level, and that gives me the 50 thou. What I didn't mention in the first part of the video is that before I put the epoxy on, I gave the acrylic a coat of car wax to act as a release agent. So, another thing I didn't mention is that this piece, which will form the top and bottom of the cell, these little yellow dots are actually holes I drilled in there, and then I filled them with Play-Doh. And the holes are going to take these bolts. When I put the thing together, the bolts will go through those holes. So the next stage is the tedious bit, and that is building up some more tape on here. And what I do is I put 8 layers of tape. So another 8 layers here, 8 layers here, 8 layers here. However, on this one I'll put 8 layers of tape in here and this end. However, these 2 pieces that are going to form the holes in the top and bottom of the cell, I'll leave those as they are at 3 layers thick, and there's a reason for that, and you'll see it later. So now I'm going to put the tape on, and then I'll start filming again later. Moggy again. All these now have their extra layers of tape on. As you can see, 8, 8, 8, and 8 here, and then 3 here. And these have 8 down each side, 8 down each side. Also on this one, you'll notice I've cut away with a sharp modeling knife the thin layer of epoxy and pushed out the Play-Doh, so the holes are clear now, so that when we get to that stage, these bolts will go through there. So the next step is to quickly mix up some epoxy. And then I'm going to take one of the side pieces and put the epoxy on. And then smooth it so that it completely fills up that gap. Obviously this is a lot thicker than the first layer that went on, and it looks like I've just about got enough epoxy to do this. Scrape this off the edge to fill the holes in. And you've got to have enough on here, otherwise you're going to get gaps in the plates where there isn't going to be enough epoxy squeezed up between the plates. So you want to get that so it's completely full. Then you take your plate block and you put it down into the epoxy, and then wiggle it around a little bit, move it back and forth, and then make sure you've got an equal gap on both sides. And that's it. Just leave that for 5 or 10 minutes, and then the epoxy will harden it up, and we'll go to the next stage.